Prohibited curves. The dangerous history of sensual realism in 18th century French art. Imagine living in a world where a curve of marble could provoke outrage, where a sculpted shoulder could spark moral panic, and where the realistic depiction of the human body was considered a threat to social order. In 18th century France, this was closer to reality than we might imagine. The controversy was not simply about nudity. Europe had admired nude figures since ancient times. The real danger was realism. As artists became increasingly skilled at depicting the human form, marble stopped looking like stone and started looking alive. And that made people uncomfortable. The hidden danger of marble flesh. French sculptors developed extraordinary techniques that transformed hard marble into something that seemed almost human. Skin appeared soft, muscles relaxed naturally, light moved across polished surfaces like it would across real flesh. The illusion was so convincing that viewers often forgot they were looking at stone. And that was precisely the problem. Classical figures had long been accepted because they represented distant ideals. But when realism became too convincing, the emotional distance disappeared. The viewer was no longer admiring an abstract symbol. The viewer was confronting a body. When beauty becomes dangerous, the 18th century was deeply concerned with social order, morality, and public behavior. Art was expected to reinforce those values. Yet many artists became fascinated with human desire, intimacy, and natural beauty. Even when disguised as mythological figures, their sculptures and paintings carried an undeniable sensuality. Small gestures, exposed skin, and lifelike anatomy made the body feel immediate rather than symbolic. What disturbed critics was not the presence of the body itself. It was the possibility that viewers might respond emotionally to it. The more realistic the artwork became, the harder it was to separate aesthetic appreciation from personal desire. Art and individual freedom. At the same time, France was changing. New ideas about reason, freedom, and individual experience were spreading throughout society. Traditional authority was increasingly questioned. Art reflected this shift. The realistic body became more than a technical achievement. It became a celebration of individual existence. Every carefully observed detail suggested that human experience mattered on its own terms. Without openly making political statements, sensual realism quietly challenged rigid social expectations. The politics of looking. Throughout history, controlling images has often been a way of controlling ideas. The concern was never really about marble or paint. It was about what people might think and feel when they encountered these works. Sensual realism encouraged viewers to see the body directly rather than through strict moral or symbolic frameworks. And that simple act of looking could be surprisingly disruptive. Conclusion. Why the human body remains powerful. The story of 18th century French sensual realism reveals a larger truth. The human body has never been a neutral subject. It carries questions about beauty, desire, freedom, and power. What made these artworks controversial was not simply their sensuality. It was their humanity. By making cold marble feel startlingly alive, artists blurred the line between ideal and real, forcing viewers to confront something that authority could never fully control: human experience itself. And sometimes, a single curve of stone can be more provocative than an entire political manifesto.